Welcome to the Men After God podcast, where you will be challenged and encouraged as you pursue God, achieve success, and raise a thriving family. Join your host, Dustin, and his guests on a weekly journey to grow as husbands, fathers, and men after God. Here is your host, Dustin Alley.
Hey guys, welcome back to another week of the Men After God podcast. My name is Dustin Alley, and we've got a full crew with us here today. We usually do a one-on-one interview each week where you get to meet someone, some man that is following after Jesus. Today, we are celebrating our 50th episode. Big round of applause for that one, guys. Clapping for us. 50 episodes into our podcast, and we are doing a Meet the Team episode. So we want you to meet the people behind the scenes of Men After God. I get commented a lot because I probably do more than I should. That's just a whole other issue that I work on. And I actually have a book where I wrote about it. It comes out May 1st on Amazon. But anyways, that's just there. Show notes, Daniel, don't forget that. Anyways, one of the things I get told is I don't know how you do what you do. And I always say it's because I've got a great team around me making things happen. And so we're going to do a little quick roundtable of introductions. Guys, let's hear your names, where you're from, just kind of what your role has been over this last year with Men After God. And then, let's get some interesting facts about you. And then we're going to kind of talk about the beginnings of Men After God, how this all came together, where we're at now, where we're going, and hopefully have some laughs along the way. There was some dancing going on before the record button hit, so hopefully we can actually see that get brought back. But nonetheless, we'll start with my amazing co-host, this guy.
Hello, my name is Craig. I'm from Texas. I live in Bristol now. I don't really have an accent, but here I am. I'm the one that does the uploading of what you're listening to or watching right now. It's been a pleasure to do that thing where I press buttons and move the mouse around and make this happen so you can listen to my beautiful voice.
A couple people on here, including this guy more than anyone, don't have it all together by Thursday, right?
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This guy talks about a 168. I bet it's on like 12 episodes already.
Yeah.
And then I put it in my 168-ish and it just doesn't happen.
I need to put it in my 168 to make sure that that's done. I actually don't have it in there. I should. That'd be a good idea. But you know what, Craig? You know what I did? I did that thing I like to teach leaders to do. I delegated to a great guy, Daniel Bishop, who's going to introduce himself now, has volunteered to actually download from Riverside. And I don't know if we talked about it. He also needs to upload to Google, but he's going to be doing that. So you can call him from now on.
Nice.
Daniel, let's hear from you, man. Oh, did he freeze? Uh-oh. Well, that makes for a fun time.
I'll speak for him. My name's Daniel, and I don't know where he's from. I don't know him.
Well, he's down in Mount Carmel, Tennessee. That's my hometown. That's just where my stomping grounds and I grew up. Daniel, you there, man? You're muted. You going to be able to hop on our call? Well, we're going to let Daniel figure that out. So let's jump away from Daniel. One of the other guys that jumped on here, I think one of the first people that was a part of this team and just blindly said, dude, it sounds cool. Let's do it. And I think those were the exact words. But if not, Zach can quote them for us. So Zach, let's hear it, man. Talk about yourself and a little how you got into this.
Yeah, I probably did say, hey, that sounds cool to do it. Having no idea what I was going to do. I was just like, being part of it sounds cool. Do whatever. But I'm Zach. I also live in Connecticut, but I don't live in Bristol. I live all the way in Griswold.
Across the pond, eh?
I guess, yeah, I was going to do an Australian one, and I have no confidence that it'd be good. So I can say Bristol, and that's kind of it. I'm the guest coordinator. I pretty much communicate with a bunch of people and make sure that they show up on time. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they show up on their phones in the middle of an area that has really bad connection. And then we have to reschedule. And then that's also my job, is getting them back on after we tried to have them on.
That's only happened like a couple times, right, Zach? Our guests are great. We love our guests. We're thankful for them.
It's happened enough times to where I send out the email of with the guests, and I have to put in bold highlighted letters, do not use your phone. So yeah, it's like we did it. We said it nicely the first time. We're like, oh, please, use have an area with good, internet access and stuff like that. And then it's just like, okay, they're not getting it. Let's just say, don't use your phone, please. Politely.
That's great. Oh man, I love it. You know what's funny? I had an interview today. The guy was on his phone. It was a great interview, though. Great interview. I enjoyed that one. All right, let's talk to the guy who's on his phone tonight and in here with us. We're excited to have him. Jason joined up a little later in the game. He has taken over graphic design for us, done a phenomenal job. In fact, designed this book cover. In fact, he designed like 30 book covers.
That is
Yeah, that process was, I felt bad every time I had to come back to you and like, Jason, man, listen, I love it. I felt like I threw so many sandwich method like interactions with you. Like you honestly, the Earl of Sandwich now is, Jason, this looks great, man. I absolutely love it. Could you change this one piece of it? Because it's going to be phenomenal when you're finished.
I was hoping it was going to be like a pop-up book or like a choose your own adventure or something.
Oh, there you go.
It was a choose your own cover.
It was.
I loved it.
Jay, tell the guys where you're at and actually just tell them what you got done doing.
Good. Well, my name is Jason Bible, and yes, my last name is Bible. That's what I was born into, not by choice, but it's been a fun ride having that last name. I'm in Augusta, Georgia, so we just obviously finished up the Masters golf tournament this past week, and I got the pleasure and the opportunity of working for a club during that week, valeting cars, running a valet service, and it's 108 hours plus, give or take, and I was exhausted on Monday, I'll tell you that much.
Man, I bet. Yeah, anytime I go to a golf course, I'm exhausted. Not from actually like hitting the ball. It's from having to go find all the ones that I've hit to the side. Like, that's
right.
That doesn't work well for me. All right. Hey, let's go to another guy.
Wait. I have a question for Jason. Because of your last name, do people ask you your nationality or your version?
All of the above. And the fun part is that when when my wife and I, we have 3 kids, and when we were naming our kids, we had to think through like whether it would go with our last name or not. And if we yelled it at a park, like if people would look at us like, did he just yell the name of a Bible college, or like what is that all about? My father-in-law, when I met my wife, he called me Johnny Coran for like the first 2 months that we were together because he thought it was funny.
Oh, bet he did.
Absolutely.
Bet he did. And he's the only one. But moving forward from that, another guy jumped on early on, man, and has just been a huge encouragement to me throughout this entire process. And does just his behind the scenes work, I think, honestly, has been encouragement. I don't know about for y'all, but I know it is for me. And he's done great work. But Luke Sorensen out in Texas just had a very tragic event take place last year, and it was an example to all of us of faithfulness to God. And I know he had hard times, difficult days, but man, it has just been encouraging, and to see you go through that and to see you share your story. I've loved it, Luke, and to be a part of this team and to always be available for a phone call or a chat, man, you're one of a kind. I'm so glad to have you a part of the team. Tell the guys about you and where you're at and what's going on in life for you right now.
I'm out in Garland, Texas, Dallas, Texas area. Moved out here in 2022 with my family and late wife, and just moved out here for work. And right at the transition point of when we were moving, this post popped up, and the Idea Network was like, "Hey, I've got a plan. Kind of. I want some people to help me, kind of formulate a plan. And if somebody if you have a gift or something, can you join?" I'm like, "I don't got any gifts, but I'm willing to talk about stuff." And Dustin let me jump in and talk about stuff. So I have a passion for people development.
I was just about to say good things about me, and he froze up.
That was God.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well.
Sorry, you froze on us, Luke, right before you're about to compliment me. So if you could just go back to whatever that was, that would be great. Just bring that
Yes,
back.
my compliment for Dustin is his ability to let anybody join the team without vetting them. That's it.
I can't. I'm like the Army recruiter, man. Like, hey, you got balls? That's awesome. Come on, let's go. We'll figure it out.
Man, so just really saw the concept about being able to help facilitate just the spiritual growth and the business side, and still take that. Keeping the priorities together while being faithful to church as layman, having been a layman in a church and being part of a lot of church ministry without being the pastor, and kind of a not the pastor concept. I really loved that idea and have been excited to be a part of the team. So my wife passed away in August, and so we've been kind of transitioning with that. But the group has been a tremendous encouragement and just support as we've been able to navigate life. I have 4 kids who keep me kind of in line, and they're going to bed right now, right behind me to this wall. So if the dancing starts, it's not me; it's actually them playing the drums.
Oh, that's awesome!
So,
all right,
yeah, glad to be here.
Here's what I want, Luke, though. If we can hear the drums through the microphone, we're going to need to see the dance moves associated with it. Okay.
Well,
so you're just going to have to bust a move there. Okay.
Prove that I'm not a Baptist, because I will dance. So.
That's awesome. So. I love it. Love it. These other guys, man, they came on a little late in the game. And I know Dennis Fountain, man, you were here early with us, brother. I forget that. Just because I think be honest with you, bro, you're underutilized. Like, you've got so much value and things that you can bring to the table. You and I need to have coffee, not in Oregon, or Washington, wherever it is you are. We need coffee in like California or Florida again. That'd be good. And talk more about that. But this guy, anytime he speaks, I love to listen because I know that I'm going to be blessed. I'm going to have such value added to me. So Dennis, man, introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do there in Washington. Let the guys know you a bit.
Yeah, man. My name is Dennis Fountain, and I pastor a church here in Washington, Moses Lake, Washington. The church is Moses Lake Baptist, and man, we were just busy moving forward for the Lord. My wife, her name is Hannah. She is actually an artist, and we are just 4 weeks away from opening an art gallery. So we're been busy doing that. But other than pastoring, I own a leadership and consulting business, working with businesses and business leaders and managers. Mostly right now, my contracts have been with police officers and law enforcement agencies, specifically one here in Washington, and looking at getting in a few others, and a prosecutor's office doing coaching with administrators just on leadership. And of course, Men After God podcast. Dustin, I don't know if you put something out or if you got my number from someone. Somehow we got connected through Idea Network about this idea, and I loved it. So just love the idea of adding value to people. So it's been great.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. And I'm excited to kind of, again, just ratchet it up a bit, getting you involved and our other coaches, Dennis. Yeah, that's great. Our 4 coaches that we have really working with us is Luke and Dennis and Dennis. But Dennis Gervais, who couldn't be on tonight, works with addictions and stuff. We definitely want to get all of you guys, get your voices out there more. And the other Luke, if you will, I don't know if the other Luke, I don't mean that in a bad way, Luke, I'm sorry, but but Luke Clayton, great guest on our podcast. I got to be on his, and also came on. I talked to him, came on as one coach and a voice, speaks into kind of the business world. Tell the guys what you got going on there, and just about being a part of this.
I got connected, I think it was August of last year, and I can relate to the other Luke, or let's just first Luke. I'll be second. I'm okay with that, because it's technically how it unfolded. But first Luke, I can relate. Yeah, just joining a team without being vetted at all. It was awesome. I mean, unless you count our podcast conversation that we had, I was invited to be a guest on the podcast, and we got to talking, and Dustin was just like, you should be a coach, and I was like, okay, sure, yeah. But interestingly enough, it's something that I was already kind of interested in and still am. And I've enjoyed the participating in the coaching sessions here over the past few months. And it's just been really cool to see what's happening with Men After God. And I own a business, Must Increase Media, and I produce and create content for primarily churches and other kind of mission-minded organizations, but mainly churches doing websites, graphic design, podcast and video production. I have my own podcast, the Must Increase podcast. And and I've been doing that for 8 years now and really loving it. Personal life, I have a daughter who is almost 7 and a little just a life update. I'm recently engaged, and I'll be getting married this summer.
Congratulations! That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, big reveal there.
Yeah, right. Is this it? This is the first time it's going public?
No, I actually did take it public on another podcast that I produce where they asked me to be the guest. So, but we'll count this as the second. Sure.
That's fine. We'll take it. That'll be
I'm
it.
the second Luke. So
Luke's
you get the
Engagement
second.
Podcast. That'll be the title of this episode. That'll be it. Man, I love that. Now you guys talk about not being vetted. Okay. First off, just for everyone out there, so they don't think like I just let like anybody walk off the street and jump onto the team here.
Go ahead.
I know people that know people. Okay. And the people I know tell me about these people, and I trust those people. So therefore I trust these people. And like Luke said, it was great. The conversations as they started, it was just more of God was already either working in the hearts about this, or they already had a passion stirring. And this was almost just the outlet that became available to really use those passions and stuff. So all you guys jumping on the team, it was phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. So it was a podcast, a post in the Idea Network. Just kind of put it out there. Hey, if you ever want to be part of a podcast team or something like that. And we had a few people respond, and it just, again, you guys are the ones that said yes and came on board. And that was almost a year ago, as far as the time when this podcast will air. Probably about 3. I mean, because guys, do y'all remember, like, especially for the ones with just the podcast, like we got together and said, okay, we're launching on Father's Day. Oh, that's like 6 weeks. Yeah. You remember that one?
Yeah, so I'm not a guy that came in off the street or even responded to an ad on Idea Network.
No, I think
was just
you said
told I was going to be on this thing. And so here I am.
Again,
Your pastor
had
was
the
like,
idea.
Your pastor's like, hey, we should do something.
Yeah, you got voluntold.
Yes.
That's it. I love that word, voluntold.
Yes. Oh man, no, it was good. Yeah, we recorded. Man, we launched. Zach, you remember we were trying to put that together. Like we launched like 10 or 12 episodes in the pipeline, and was able to get out there and get things going. You guys rocked and rolled, and we made it happen. And since then, I know our team has changed a little bit. We've had a few people that had to step away for various reasons. Some others that have come in to just fill the gap, and it's just been great. It's gone so smooth, and I say smooth. Overall, it looks great from the outside. All right, guys, it looks great from the outside. That's what we shoot for, right? But no, it's been phenomenal. I've loved it. So over this past 50 episodes, we've interviewed so many different guests and had great people on. I'm going to put our guys on the spot. If they haven't listened to an episode, this is really going to show. I didn't tell them what we were going to talk about. And if you've been a guest, if you're one of our guys on here that's been a guest and you say yourself, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll take that. But has there been a favorite guest? Any of y'all ever got a favorite guest, favorite episode or anything?
I like that guy that was in the first few episodes.
Yeah, it was good. He's
got good hair, hot wife.
I couldn't go where I wanted to go with that after you said hot wife. It made it really weird. And so thanks. But we need to do some more episodes like that. We haven't had one, just you and I, in a long time. Yeah. You should put it on your 168 and schedule that.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I bet you will. That's awesome. All right, guys, talk to me. What's favorite episode, favorite interview, favorite topics, anything we've talked about? What do you got?
Say LeBrant Speed. His was his first one that he did was really it was convicting and challenging, and I really I took a lot away from that. I've shared that with several people since then, and really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, LeBrant's come back on for a second. I just recorded with him a week or two ago. Guy's got a lot of energy, a lot of good stuff, a lot of good content out there, helping men to transform. He lost like 250 pounds. Like, that was phenomenal.
I wasn't sure if I could mention that. I got the sneak peek of that one. That one's good too.
Oh yeah. The second one. Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah. It should have, by the time if you're listening to this, the LeBrant Speed episode, I think should have already been out. And so what's somebody else? You got a favorite episode, favorite guy it's been on, favorite topic we've covered? Just so many to choose from. I got you. I understand. I know.
I like the doing nothing for Jesus.
Doing nothing for Jesus. Yeah. That's always good.
Great topic.
The rest. So one of mine that I've enjoyed the most, LeBrant is definitely up there. But I think the parenting guy, Don, when we talked to Don, he was really good. And then we had a guy early on, Corey Long. This guy was a youth pastor that turned a digital marketing thing into a multi-million-dollar business. And that was just encouraging. And just to hear his story and how he shared that knowledge with people, how he put stuff out there, that was just really cool. I enjoyed that one. I thought that was a great time. Zach, you listened to some of them. You talked to me about them. Give me one of your favorites.
One that comes to my head that we loved immediately after you recorded, kind of forgot what some of the content was because it came out in September, but it was Ryan Gill. I call him Ryan the Painter.
Yeah, from Brushstrokes down in Georgia. Jason, do you know Ryan?
I do.
Yeah, man, Ryan's a good guy. He's got good stuff going on over there. Yeah, he had powerful ones on business. Yeah, that was good. I love that.
And then the second one is I like the Chef Tim episode because that was kind of the first one where it's like we had somebody really getting deep into talking about their background and then blended families and how they do ministry together and all that stuff. So I really like the transparency on that one.
Yeah, Tim Owens. Yeah, right. No, it wasn't Tim Owens. Tim Clowers. Tim Clowers, right? Yeah, Chef Tim Clowers, man. Yeah, shout out to Tim Clowers. That guy was on. He was on that show with that popular chef. What's his name?
Next Level Chef.
Next Level
Chef. Yeah, he did great on that. Yeah, well, I thought he did great. I mean, they obviously made they made the wrong decision when they kicked him off.
They did.
That's a whole other thing, you know? Yeah, that's good.
Tim Owens' episode was really good too. His time at the table episode was an excellent episode too.
Tim, I've told Tim, and I'm sure you guys know, as far as like the book's concerned, the 5 principles that we really teach and preach and believe in, he was the one, he's the spiritual mentor. If you hear me talk about the story of how the book came to be and I hit my wall and stuff, he's the spiritual mentor I call. I usually say I got with a spiritual mentor, we prayed and talked. He's that spiritual mentor. It was Tim Owens. And so he was just a great guy. It was a wonder. Yeah, it was a good episode. I love that one. All right, guys. So with Men After God, we have covered so many topics, and it's been phenomenal to be running for almost a year as at the time of this. I mean, I think we launched day one, 3 episodes?
Man, I don't remember because we had to re-record.
Oh,
that was. I felt like that was
about that.
8 episodes or.
Oh my goodness! What happened? Why did we have? I forgot.
Because one of the services that we used, I think it is.
Was it
the one we're on right now? Failed us, and we lost all of the content.
Oh man, I do remember having to re-record that.
We also lost episode 21 and a half. Some guy last name Simmons, and the topic was like yoga, exercise. I don't know, something like that. If you guys can find it, that'd be great.
G. Simmons, yeah, we'll have to get him on there. Yeah, he did some weird poses, but anyways, yeah. No, I forgot about that re-recording. All right, y'all. So one of the great things in our team, I think what I love about you all, I love about us is we're real. We're real. We don't put on a show. Daniel has his curse words on the back of his wall there. It is. Thanks, Dennis Fountain, for that joke. But we're just real. We're real guys that follow Jesus as God's called us to in our own different ways. And that realism comes across in our interviews. It comes across anytime we have a conversation. We're just real. And the re-recording, the reason that was such a big deal is because we recorded it, and those were the episodes. That was our first 5. That was when we went through the first 5 principles from the book, and so there was more content oriented. We stayed on a topic, less interview style, but the organic conversation between Craig and I, was phenomenal. And then we had to go back, and it's almost. I mean,
I hope it was phenomenal because I remember you had pages of notes, and I just kind of sat down and was like, "All right, Craig, what do you think about that?"
Craig didn't realize he was going to be interviewed.
Just happened to my Bible college files and fill in the blanks for you.
Oh man, that was awesome. It was good. All right, so let's talk about where we're going. With Men After God. So we're 50 episodes in. We're continuing the podcast. We've got great interviews lined up. But what's happened with Men After God now? Originally, just to be transparent with our audience, guys, this originally started as a means to help develop a coaching program for men that we could just assist men, again, and achieve success with a thriving faith and family. And that was my focus, and working with our team and getting that up and going. And they've been phenomenal because that focus has shifted, and it's a good shift. And we're still navigating some of that. But these guys are going to do great as we continue to do that. And the intention now is to grow the network, the Men After God network, facebook.com/group/Men After God. You can find us, and it's there to connect. And we got over 600 and some men in there right now. It's continuing to grow every week, almost every day. We see new people connecting there, connect with our podcast page. And the intention is to help men just get connected right now. We've got conferences coming up that we're scheduling and planning. We do have the coaching program that we are going to launch eventually. But one of the great things about Men After God is the people that we know within our networks and the networks that we're attached, we are not attached to, but that we're attached to through other people, but not in an official capacity. It's just great to have so many voices to speak into your lives. And that's why I wanted to bring coaches into this. That's why we've got Luke, Dennis, and Dennis, all a part of that. And I want you to hear just a minute. So coaches, if you guys can just think for just a minute, I want you guys to kind of share your heart. And if you could have a conversation with a man in his early 30s, and he has got a family, like what's some things you would talk to him about, and maybe even in your own niche, coach him on, and you can kind of talk what you're more niche specific with on coaching him on. I'd love for the guys just to hear your hearts behind that and get to know you. And if they want to connect with you in the group there, they can always tag you and stuff. But we've got great coaches that have various life experience, and they can speak into your life in an amazing way. So I want them to take just take 60 seconds, guys, and let's just get that going. What's something you talk to a guy in his early 30s and just, share with him that's just your passion, your heart, and you want to help him with the most. So Luke, Dennis, whichever one of you want to start.
I'll start just because I'm faster on the mute button. I've been practicing. So,
and you're the first Luke.
Hey, the first Luke. There it is.
Yeah, well, we found Luke 2.0. There's a version.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We upgraded. It's the upgrade
here.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
We'll look at the kinks, but we like them. So, no. In all seriousness, one of the reasons that I joined the Men After God network or group as it started was the passion I have to help support people and help people where I've been, which is trying to pay bills, work a job, figure out who I am, figure out who I am in marriage, figure out who I am in Christ, while becoming the best version of myself in Christ. And so my passion is to really help people find their gifts, and more than just like spiritual gifts or here's your work in your strength zone, but hey, how do we align what you're passionate about, who you are, what your past is with what you're called to do, not in a ministry, like I'm called to ministry, but no, I'm called to serve. I'm called to lead. I'm called to be a part of a local church and to be the best husband I can be and the best father I can be. And there's a lot that goes into it, but my passion is to help people find who they are so they can walk in and, when you hear different people say who they are. My name is Luke Sorensen. I genuinely care about people. That's a fact. And I love the fact I know that, because I don't mind caring about people. And I don't mind the fact that there's a lot of emotions that get involved in that. There's a tendency to get hurt. But I want to help men that are where I'm at and that have been where I'm at, become the best version of themselves by working in their strength zones and being confident of who they are, who God said they are, and be able to be the best version of themselves in their faith, in their family, and really in their career.
Oh, I love it, Luke. Man, and anytime I talk to him, that's always the conversation about who you are in Christ. Where's Christ leading you? That's why I love it, man. All right. Dennis, Luke?
I think Luke 2.0 should go first.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Right. There it goes.
Voluntold. So there we go.
It. Yes. That's a pastor for you right there. They do these things.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah. So for me, I am that guy in his early 30s. And so for me, I guess as I've reached that, call it a milestone, whatever, or this era of my life, I really wish that, and there's some things that you just learn from experience, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that it was more about growth and maturity that honestly I could have started to implement earlier on in maybe my early to mid 20s. I was just listening to something the other day where a guy made a really good point. You think about go back as far as like biblical times, but even as far as like, just a century before. And I mean, people were starting their lives as adults in their mid to late teens, and we've just, especially in America, Western civilization, we've kind of prioritized things like education, and the Industrial Revolution kind of had brought that in and all that thing. I'm not saying that we have to go back. I'm not saying we need to do something crazy old fashioned or whatever. But the thought that dawned on me is that's exactly how I felt. I felt like a child in my early 20s. And now it's not that I feel like I'm, I know it all, but it's like, okay, I actually have a mindset of a man. And for me, it would be, if I could talk to a man, again, I'm thinking of a guy a decade behind me, you know, it'd be like, there are things that I didn't do rather till my late 20s, early 30s that I could have been doing in my late teens, early 20s. And, you know, building healthy habits and just implementing these practices and really figuring out what you believe in terms of your faith and Jesus Christ and everything. And so I don't know, that's a very broad kind of approach in terms of what I'm passionate about. But as far as when it comes to reaching men, and yes, a part of that has been starting a business and kind of being an entrepreneur in that way. I think there's a lot more men who can do that than actually allow themselves and maybe believe in themselves to try. But yeah, I guess on a broad spectrum, it's just like, hey, you don't have to wait until you're quote unquote old to mature. And you can grow as a man in your faith and your relationships and so on, as early on as you decide you want to.
Absolutely. I'm just glad to hear him say that we can wait to mature. That's what I heard.
I didn't want to jump in on that because I was trying to keep it serious, but okay.
No, I was straight up thinking like, well, that's good because Craig's probably one of the older guys here at 39. And yeah. That's awesome. All right. Mr. Dennis.
Yeah, I think I would echo both the Lukes. I don't know if I am the oldest person that's on this, but I'm in my 40s now, and looking back,
there's hope.
Yeah,
it still look good.
So there is hope for you guys. Yeah, but I would say just passionate about helping anybody just find their identity in Christ and who they are, what they believe, and have passion about it. I love helping people find a healthy marriage, healthy relationships with their kids, purpose in their Christian life, and recognizing that God's word is truly alive and something that can help grow us and develop us. And I think all of the above of what both Luke said, I don't want to repeat what they said, but just helping people in all those areas has definitely been something, one of the reasons for me to jump in and be a part of Men After God and try to help men just grow.
I love it. And that's what it's all about, guys. It's about growth. It's about sanctification. That there's at its core, at the core of what Men After God is, it's about helping you grow in the Lord. We've got Luke Clayton over there that can coach you with business and entrepreneurship and things of that nature. Dennis was talking about his leadership, and then Luke had mentioned about what he's got. Dennis Gervais, who's not on with us tonight, can talk about addictions and things of that nature. But why? Why do we want to coach on these? I mean, as practical as you want to make it, of either starting a business, which we did an episode for Patreon. I don't know if we put it out yet, about starting a side hustle and what that looks like, how to go through that. Or, I mean, just being a better employee or having your own, being a better leader inside your business or your job, whatever it might be. We can coach you on all that, but what's the point? What's the purpose? Why? To glorify God, to give God glory with our lives. Since the book's come out, I've had not come out yet, but since it's coming out May 1st as a recording, it's not released yet, but I've been able to talk to people about it. And it really comes down to seeing our lives and all that we are and do as a complete and utter act of worship to God. We surrender our work, we surrender our families, we surrender our rest, and all of it as an act of worship to God, because we ultimately want to see you know Him more. And these, our coaches are going to be the faces and voices that you're going to see. But these guys behind the scenes, man, let me tell you, you all work just in ways that I would never want to. Specifically, Jason Bible. This guy takes critiques like a champ. All right. I'm just going to let you know. Anytime we get graphics and stuff done, I think maybe once I've seen it, and this isn't a knock on Jason. This is a knock on me, not telling him exactly what I want. Because usually I tell Jason, hey man, I need something for this. Or, what do you want it to look like? Branded. Yeah. Like that.
Make it
there
pretty.
You go. Yeah. Craig's looking at me. We've had conversations recently about my vision casting. It's very much like, hey, this is what we want to do. Yeah, but what exactly you want it to look like? I want it done. Yeah.
Thanks,
and so anyways, Jason's done a great job behind this. Jason, graphic design, how long have you been doing that?
As a side hustle for about 20 years, doing it in the church, sermon series, that kind of stuff. But it's a passion that I have. Like it became a side hustle back in 2008 when my main job became obsolete, or whatever you want to call it. It became my side hustle, but I just enjoy using my creative outlet to help other people succeed and handing it off to them and then celebrating the victory together.
Amen. So what I heard you say is, when I give broad direction, you appreciate the room for creativity you have. Okay. All right.
100%.
That's awesome. Good.
Thank you.
And then Daniel, man, you run our transcripts, bro. You do more than that. What all do you do? Transcript, show notes? Now you're downloading stuff?
Yeah, transcript, show notes, downloading, uploading to Google, and hopefully doing that right so the show actually goes out. Otherwise, Craig's going to be after me tomorrow. And then communicating with some of the Patreon subscribers that we have, our founding members that joined up at the beginning and have been with us from the get-go. And then now with our different tiers that we have, the bronze, silver, and gold supporters, just keeping in touch with them. If you're a founding member and you get your free merch, if you haven't gotten that yet, now's the time to do it. But, you know, getting that all to all our founding members and just doing with that. AI's made it a lot easier with some of the show notes and stuff, and it takes a lot of time off of it. It still sounds like a computer, so you got to go through and edit everything, but AI's definitely improved a lot of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know we use Riverside as a recording service, and they didn't have all that when we started.
No.
You know, back in our day, we didn't have all this AI junk.
Back in the day.
Yeah, recording with dial up. Hey, well.
Yeah, there you go. We had the that's good, man. No, I love it. Yeah, Daniel, thank you so much for what you do there. And then Zach, man, you behind the scenes, like Zach and I probably talk more. I mean, Craig and I work at the same church, but as far as Men After God stuff's concerned, Zach and I probably talk the most about guests and getting them on, getting them scheduled. Did they cancel? Are they on time? What I love is when I'm sitting here looking at the camera, Riverside's on, it's time to record, and there's nobody showing up. And Zach's the one who gets the call. Hey, did they say anything? Did something come up? What's happening? And usually he's quick to respond. Hang on, I'm on it. And and he'll get in touch with them and make stuff happen. So I just want you to know, behind the scenes, guys, I really appreciate you and all that you do. You mentioned merch, Daniel. Quick shout outs, and then we're gonna wrap this up. FaithfulShirtsCustom.com. Levi Wade. He was actually in the room here when we started recording, but had to get home and get some schoolwork done. Young man in college, has his own t-shirt printing business. We've kept his hat. Where's the hat? That's my book. There's the hat. We've kept his hat here the whole time. It's always in our stuff, and they host the page for our merchandise. Just shout out to them. If you need anything printed, screen printed, he can do the designs, or Jason can do the designs, get it printed on Levi's stuff, however you want to do it, and just get that out to you. And then our AV guy. We had a transition of AV guys. The first one who came on, his ministry that he was doing took off so much and things that he had to give more of a focus to it. But then Rick Scarola came on board, and Rick's great. Rick's an old rocker from the 80s and got saved maybe 6-7 years ago now. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and has been in our church and just does phenomenal work in sound and stuff. And when I came to him for this, he was like, "Sure, how much you paying me?" I'm like, "Listen, man, I just think it'd be great for you to get more experience." And so, and if y'all don't know, and many of these guys here know, like that's my favorite pay rate is experience. But nonetheless,
my family and I know.
But nonetheless, yeah, if you need an experience,
just kidding. We're taking care of. That was a complete joke for anybody that is going to run away with that one.
That's it. Oh man. But he's got a ton of experience, so he really does now. And so, but yeah, no, Rick does a great job. Their sound editing. I'm actually going to be on a podcast tomorrow, and he told me he's doing editing for it. And I'm thankful, guys. I don't know, but like if you listen to podcasts, oftentimes they have to go in and like they'll edit out like the various noises and stuff. We're blessed. We don't really do that. You get what you see here. There's one recording. I don't even know what episode it is. Now Rick's going to try to edit that out. I actually knocked a light over during the recording, and it's on. It's out there. It is what it is because, again, we're real. But yeah, he was talking about how they make all the noises. And he's got to edit them out of this thing, and he's just thankful he doesn't do that for us. And so, but man, guys, listen, this conversation's been great. I'm thankful for you all, and to our listeners, to everyone that's a part of the Men After God podcast, our network. We're continuing to grow. This is just the beginning. Can you believe this? I mean, we really, guys, we're like 1 year in. And in 1 year, I just want to shout this out to y'all. In 1 year, we are 6 downloads away as of the time of this recording from 8,500 downloads. Y'all remember celebrating? Like I get the Buzzsprout graphics of like, you got 25 downloads. Like, guys, we did it. It's there. Yes. Someone besides us. Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
And it was all us listening to it.
Yeah. 24 of those were his Apple devices at home.
All of us and our families getting them on there, and just seeing those like steadily increase, and then seeing the group grow and more guys come into it. And hey, we got and just to encourage everyone listening, and then to you guys that are part of this team, the podcast is a piece of this puzzle, the network, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to go and speak sometimes for Men After God. And most recently, I went to a church for a men's breakfast, and they asked me to come speak, and I shared about the book and everything going on, and just gave a little message there. And I got a report from a woman in our church. Her friend goes to the church I went to, and her husband actually came to that men's breakfast. Doesn't normally do stuff like that. And this is not me. This is God and our team and our message and everything we have. But from what he heard there, she said he has been in the 2 weeks since then, he had been a more involved father than he had been in a long time, and had been making time for his family and been making time for his wife, and had really stepped up. And so again, glory to God. Thankful for our team and using gifts and talents and the message that we have. And if this is your first episode listening, our message is that you can achieve success in life with a thriving faith and family. We don't define success for you. God does. Our success is how we achieve that success is by being faithfully obedient to what his calling is in our life, because that will result in having a thriving faith and family, along with whatever it is God has planned for you. And that's our heart. That's our passion. That is the Men After God network and team. And guys, I truly am thankful for you.
And if you would like to join this podcast team for free, operators are standing by.
You will gain a ton of experience, we promise. Let's close this out with exciting news. So we've added to our team. What you see right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 of us here. I've mentioned 2 more, 9. And then there's our website guy, Josh. And then we've got other people that stick around in our team page where we all chat and talk and things. But we added some people in the last 6 months, because we believe God was putting something together that we were hoping to launch in the summertime, in May actually. But it seems as though some circumstances changed. We weren't able to do that, but we've kept these people on the team. And so we've actually got 3 ladies that are coming on the team. And one of them is getting ready to take over social media, which is going to be really good to see that get more active involved. And then a couple of them are blog. And then there's another one. I've got to talk to her and see what she'd like to do. But the team's growing. The network's growing, the message is getting out there, and we're going to see lives impacted and changed the more they hear it. And it's because of God. It's because of this team that is on this call, and it's just because we've decided to be faithfully obedient to what God's called us to. And seriously, hey, if you're interested in being part of the Men After God team, let's have a conversation. It's not as easy as these guys made it sound.
Yeah, we haven't vet anybody.
yeah, right. Give me a pulse and a voice, and we can talk. No, but we'll chat. We'll see what's going on. Actually, so funny. Okay, all right. This is funny. I actually did call a guy today. He's in my the book launch team. Shout out to Michael Thompson. He's done a lot of great work in there of helping us get this out and develop some content for us to put out as a promo and stuff. And so I called him, just said, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It seems like you're passionate about this. And Michael, if you're listening, I appreciate you. You have a voicemail. You should check if you haven't called me back yet. And said, I'd love to talk to you if you're interested in doing some more with that. Right?
Apparently he's ignoring you. He's already heard there's no pay, so he's out.
He's out. He's done. It's over. Oh, man. But guys, this has been great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all on this call. Like, just talking to my team right now. Thank you. You guys have been amazing. Humbled and honored. The guy from the trailer hood of Northeast Tennessee sitting here by God's grace with you amazing men. And I'm thankful for you. To our listeners, guys, you're awesome. It's been wonderful to see the response to what's getting out there, what we're doing. Thank you for being faithful in not just our Patreon guys. I love you. I'm thankful for you, and our founding guys. You're amazing. Just to anyone who's listening, Thanks for picking it up. Thanks for listening this far into this episode, almost 45 minutes in. We appreciate you. And we're here for you. Facebook.com/group/Men After God. Reach out and we'll help you achieve success with a thriving faith and family. Team, I'll see y'all later. And to our listeners, we'll talk next time.
Thank you for listening to the Men After God podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and keep up with the show by following us at facebook.com/Men After God. You can also reach out to Dustin personally at dustin@seekconsulting.us with any questions or for coaching on being a man after God. Until next time.